Joining us now to weigh in is BERI CEO Saruhan Hatipoglu. Good to see you, Saruhan. What are investors expecting on May the 7th?
Well, Dagan, good morning, and good morning, everyone. The investors are very happy with the result that came in. They were actually, many of the pollsters were talking about this match, if you will, on May 7th. And if you look at the polls again, and if you listen to French people, the expectation is really Mr. Macron winning this election by a significant margin, about 15 to 20%. Some say up to 30%.
Why the market reaction has been astonishing to some, for lack of a better word. Is it because, regardless of who, particularly if Macron wins, there are some very pro-growth policies, plus still the status quo of keeping France in the European Union and in the Eurozone?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the CAC 40 index. 60% of the income derived from those companies is in Europe. French bonds, if you look at them, really 55 to 60% of them are owned by foreign investors. So this vote was very important in terms of what will happen in France, as well as in the Eurozone. This was a de facto, really, referendum on whether to stay in the EU or not. So the investors are reacting very positively to it. And Mr. Macron, as you mentioned, has a pro-growth policy, is adamant on tackling on labor market rigidities, which has been truly stifling growth in France. So there is some kind of hope and anticipation that the economy is going to improve in France under Macron leadership.
What about is it possible that the polls are wrong? The polls were wrong about the British exit from the European Union. The polls were wrong about President Trump getting elected. Is it possible that Marine Le Pen has a much better chance of winning? And what does that mean for the markets?
Well, let me start with the second question. It would be terrible for the markets if Le Pen won. At the core, Dagan, France is still pro-European. They like Europe. Right before Brexit, there was a Pew Research survey that showed that 34% of French voters actually would like to see more power transferred to the EU from their national governments. That was the highest in the European Union. So polls can be wrong. We've seen it. We've seen it quite a lot this year and last year as well. But again, just because of this pro-European outlook of the French people, I don't think they got it wrong here. The margins can change. Exogenous factors can come in. Look, terror attacks have been happening in France quite a bit. So if we see these attacks come more and more in the next 2 weeks, the margin will still change, but we don't believe that that will be enough even for Ms. Le Pen to win the presidency.
How much do you think could change in the French economy if Macron did win? And also, do you make portfolio changes ahead of this election next month?
Well, he's going to hit on labor market rigidity. Again, if you look at French economy, it's ailing. It's one of the worst in Europe. We have 10% unemployment. Youth unemployment is far more than that. Corporate taxes are high. Income taxes are high. Unemployment measures are not there. It's very generous, to be honest. It sometimes pays off for people to not work in France. So he's going to tackle this, but it's going to be very difficult. Look, let's remember, it was the socialist government that really, this government, right now it's 7% popularity, that started doing this. And French people, as pro-European as they are very protected when it comes to their labor market.
Saruhan, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here and making sense of this. What a terrific rally.
It was a pleasure.
We'll take it.